Knowing that our design was going to be a benefit to others was really influential in how we can move our careers forward to make design count for something and help people.
It wasn't about, impressing some client with a lot of money, and it wasn't about this huge space. It was about this one small object that would be enough for this one person.
We had an opportunity to check out a current shelter at a church in Lower Queen Anne at St. Paul's, and one thing that we noticed is that they had mats on the floor and storage bins for their things. So we wanted to combine those things in a beautiful, functional way.
I think this is a unique project to start with because we had real clients that could talk about real needs and what they experience.
We always kept this lady in our mind, and her words and her, just the way that she was talking, it felt super real, and I think that was the most beneficial thing of this whole project.
And we also wanted to look at the needs of the user and giving them a place of home, a sense of place and autonomy, and being able to have a nightly ritual is very important, and a good night's sleep.
The other part of it was actually building these prototypes. They had to understand what their ideas, how they manifest themselves, and what it took to get something built.
Usually it's kind of like that we can see it in our computer, but it's kind of abstract to everyone else because we know our project so well, but then when we get to see it actually made, people can walk around and interact with it, touch it, sit on it, it's a completely different experience.
And then this is our chair for changing the shoes or putting up your backpack.
Or before you go to sleep, you just want to talk.
And some privacy. And a privacy panel.
We had people with sewing machines here, we had 3D printers, people were welding. They had all kinds of ways to make these things, and we had an industrial designer as part of the studio, so he was able to help us navigate actually building prototypes.
So it was hard, it was a challenge because, I remember we wanted our bed to sort of like slide out, but there was no like actual tool or anything that actually did that function. And so we had to sort of change our project a little bit in order to, to actually work in the real world.
How many can you fit under there?
The way they're designed now, not as many as you would like, but with some adjustments we can get 6 underneath there. So it's very nice for 6
people. Right. It's a module.
It's a module, yes.
Nice.
At the end, they also got to talk to elected officials and policymakers about their projects. So they got to kind of tell people, this is my idea, this is why I'm doing it, and you should implement it.
We were really lucky to be able to diversify our portfolio in this way and to have different experiences that required different levels of thought process and process work.
We did a lot of research about homelessness. There have been a lot of articles that are written in the local newspapers that were talking about the demographics. We were realizing that these were really our neighbors. So it was really valuable for us as designers to understand the humanity and have some empathy for people that are in this predicament at this point.
What we felt like was the most important to these people was just having their own space, their own private space in this huge place that doesn't seem like home. So we wanted every person to have their own unique cabinet where they could store their stuff in the back, and then they could like write their name on it, and it was the right height for if they needed to write resumes or write letters or iron their shirts. They had their own like home.
Our group, we really wanted to focus on privacy, collapsibility, and community. We decided to have a product where they can use it to sit together for a communal aspect and use it for socialization, kind of like a sofa, and then have one side come down so that that can be adapted into a bed.
Moving on, I should think of my projects in this way. Like I should think of a real person, of a real problem, and focus my design and my design process on that idea. So I have to thank Michael for such a great experience because it really was unforgettable and we learned so much from this.